The weekend has just come, and you have no one to spend it with, or you don't even have anyone to call. Or do you have someone to spend it with, but you feel lonely even around those people? It's not just you feeling this. According to a study mentioned in the video description, 46% of Americans and 1/3 of British people feel alone, abandoned, or isolated. The following 9 tips will help you a lot in fighting loneliness. 1. Don't focus so much on yourself. Evolution has taught you that in order to survive, it's very important to take care of yourself first. And it's very efficient. But here's a big trap. We become so obsessed with ourselves that we don't think about others at all. This exaggerated love for oneself can be a sign of narcissism. If you're curious if you're a narcissist, then take the test in the video above. Focusing on ourselves can make us not interested in the needs of friends, desires, expectations they have from us, or what problems are pressing them. Neglecting your friends is not only negative for them, but also for you because it prevents the development of a strong, healthy, and long-lasting relationship. And without such relationships, you'll feel lonely. How do you resolve this problem? For example, you want to go on vacation with a friend. You want to go to the sea, and he wants to go to the mountains. Try to make a compromise this time and go where he wants. Certainly in the future, he'll take into account, and he'll also make compromises in doing what you want, and thus you'll have a more intense friendship. If, however, you see that only you make compromises and the other person never makes them, the relationship may be toxic, a very important case that we'll detail in the following tips. 2. Communicate more in real life. Although the technology and the ease in communication should have brought us closer, it had the opposite effect. It made us feel more lonely than ever. Every time we get bored or feel abandoned, we pick up the phone and give a message or call someone we're trying to talk to and alleviate our loneliness. Although it seems to help you at the moment, in the long run, it's not efficient at all. Why? Because in physical encounters, face-to-face, you can make visual contact with your partner. You can observe his micro-expressions, body language, and you can even touch each other. All these things have something in common. They allow a much better sharing of emotions and make you feel closer to the other, thus helping to alleviate loneliness. 3. Share important moments with close people. Do you tend to keep these special events of your life to yourself? It's not beneficial at all. Try to find a good and reliable person to share all the events you consider special. It doesn't matter if they're negative or positive. It's important to talk to someone about them and analyze and feel them together. That person will notice how important he or she is for you and will be closer to you in the future when you need them and support you in moments of loneliness. We're doing this pretty often. Leave a comment and tell us if you also have a habit of sharing important moments with someone. 4. If you notice a negative trait in a friend, do not judge him. Try to understand and help him. We know it's hard, but try to be the wise one who acts right when someone makes a mistake. Maybe he cheated on you. Maybe he insulted you, or he tried to put you at a disadvantage in situations where he had something to gain. The initial tendency is to punish the person. But this is not always the right decision, especially if this is the first time something like this has happened. Maybe he has a good reason for doing what he did. You just have to take a step back, analyze the situation as a whole, and empathize. For example, if you notice that a friend of yours is cheating on a game to win against you, don't blame and accuse him. Maybe he just tries to prove that he's clever enough for you and wants to win your friendship. We don't claim that cheating is fine, but don't be upset with him and try to understand why he cheated and help him by explaining that other people may not be as open-minded with him as you were. By acting in this way, you'll attract many friends and you'll no longer feel alone. Hey, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. That'd help us a lot. 5. Interrupt relationships with all toxic people. Another reason why you may feel alone is that you may have toxic people around you, which you can confuse as friends, but they don't prove it by their actions. In such situations, loneliness is something that will constantly annoy you because even though you do not realize it, your subconscious knows that they will not be with you in difficult situations. As we specified earlier, it's beneficial to make compromises in relationships in order to communicate efficiently. But what if your friends don't make compromises too? This could be a sign that your relationship is toxic. The first step is to try to repair the relationship, and if that's not possible, to remove the toxic people. For example, if you have a friend who often offers you advice meant to fix certain problems of yours, but maybe he actually offers you these tips to highlight your flaws, offend you, or alleviate some of his frustrations, do everything you can to avoid this kind of person so that you don't end up feeling alone even though you're surrounded by many supposed friends. 6. Stop thinking negatively. Negativism is another important factor that can make you feel abandoned. With such thinking, there's a risk of focusing on regrets instead of solving problems. In this case, it's possible to focus on being alone instead of trying to find reasons and get rid of loneliness. The solution is to change your mindset. Focus on actions that could make you feel better instead of complaining. Maybe you should attend new circles of people. Be more open to talking to strangers, pursue an older hobby, or maybe find a boyfriend or girlfriend. Whatever the reasons for your loneliness are, stop being negative and make a detailed plan to combat the loneliness. 7. Spend your money on experiences, not objects. Probably one of the biggest mistakes people who feel alone make is spending their money, energy, and time trying to get objects instead of experiences. In the short term, objects, smartphones, cars, or luxury homes can hide your feeling of loneliness through a dopamine rush. But as soon as this rush passes, the truth comes out: the fact that you feel lonely. Rather invest in a spiritual trip to Tibet with friends, scuba diving, or books that can expose you to worlds and ideas that will mark your life. 8. Realize that loneliness is a feeling, not a fact. Realizing that loneliness is often not a fact but only a state of mind that you have at the moment can help you fight it. Most of the time, people can feel lonely even if they have good friends, healthy relationships, and active life. Situations in which they're not really alone, but just feel that way. Why? Maybe they remembered something sad that happened to them, or they have a false impression that their friends don't like them, or many other reasons that have nothing to do with reality. So try to understand exactly why you feel alone, and this can lead to a better feeling. 9. Live in the present. In this case, there are 3 types of people who feel alone: those who live in the past, those who live in the future, or even those who focus their thoughts on the past and the future, but not the present. The tendency to live in the future and to focus only on future plans has grown in contemporary society, especially due to the obsession for efficiency. It's very beneficial for your development and evolution to focus on future goals and actions, but be careful not to get stuck there and forget to enjoy the present. It's the same with those who live in the past, although the reasons are not related to efficiency, but perhaps to melancholy or regret. It's just as harmful to focus on the past. Instead, try to live in the present because that's the only way you can pay attention to current relationships. And if you give them attention, time, and energy, these relationships will improve considerably, and with them, the feeling of loneliness will be minimized. We also have a bonus for you. Hiding the truth is also very harmful. We're taking into account truths about you and others. If, for example, you're in a relationship with a boyfriend or girlfriend and you both lie that you love each other only because of the fear of loneliness, this will turn against you in the long run, feeling lonely in a relationship. It's wise to accept the painful truth now, to move on and look for affection in more appropriate places. So accept all the truths in your life and you will minimize the chances of feeling lonely. Hey, if you want to know yourself better, you really have to take this psychopathy test. We'll see you there.